Greeting viewers, this is Obin Horn of Africa, our weekly program Invest in Ethiopia. Today we'll be discussing mining development in Ethiopia. My guest today is Tesfaye Medane, General Manager of Etno Mining Company. Till the end of our program, stay tuned. Mr. Tesfaye, thank you for your time and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First, would you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is Mr. Tesfaye?
Yeah, my name is Tesfaye Medane. I'm a geologist and also a mining professional. Yeah, I was born in around Shashamane in 1981. And then from that, I continue moving to different parts of Ethiopia. Lastly, I finished my high school in Addis Ababa, and I joined Addis Ababa University in 2001 European calendar, or 1993 European calendar, in the department Earth Science or Geology department. Then in 2005 we graduated, or 97 European calendar. Since that, then after 2 years, in 2007 again I joined engineering geology. Then I pursue my careers, and again in 2016, again, I joined mining geology at Addis Ababa University. Currently, I'm a general manager for Etno Mining, a part of Ako Minerals.
Okay, thank you. So how do you describe the current mining development in Ethiopia as a professional working in the area?
Yeah, as we all know, it's just recently opened the mining sector or the mining industry in Ethiopia. There is favorable conditions currently, but previously we can say there is little works have been done. But from the little works done, we can't see the potential of Ethiopian in the mining or in the geological resources at all. But you can imagine also, if you have also more studies in the future, then you can imagine that. But from the little studies, the country have discovered a lot of different type of mineral resources, especially in the gold area and also other minerals. So as you can see from the government, the 5 economic sectors is mining is one of them. That means you can see the attention given to the sector. So that contributes a lot to the industry, which is helping to discover a lot of resource areas. Now is maybe still little, but in the mining, resources have to be converted to reserves to be mined and or be to utilized. So still at the early stage. Even we have a lot of resources, we have also some factories in different areas at early stage, but highly potential.
You have tried to mention some of the resources available in the sector. Could you mention some of them? You try to mention gold. Can you mention other resources available in the sector?
Yeah, the mineral sources can be categorized in different categories for easy tracking purposes. For example, you can see in 5 or 6 or 7 categories, depending on how you want. For example, gold is in the metallic minerals. Like we have gold, we have platinum, iron, nickel, chromite, and other base metals being available based on in the metallic category. So this is what has been found in Ethiopia as a metallic. There's also more when you say basic metals. We have a lot of included there, including what I mentioned: gold, iron, nickel, chromite. The other one is, if you see on the fertilizer side, you can see potash and phosphates. Potash is one of the, on the world, high grade potash being found in northern Ethiopia. So this is all can tell you that the fertilizer is also high potential in Ethiopia. The other area which everybody can know in Ethiopia is gemstones. So in gemstones, that's why we call like opals, sapphires, emeralds. So this is also been found in Ethiopia. Also, the other ones be included on the energy minerals like lithium, graphite, tantalum. So this all, including coal, this has been on the energy minerals category. Then the other ones in cement raw materials. As you can see, we have a lot of cement factories, and also we need a lot of cement. Then for that, raw materials been also, we have a lot of that, including limestone, gypsum, and pumice. So this is also available in different parts of Ethiopia. Ceramic raw materials, glass materials, dimension stones, natural gas. So you can mention a lot. This is all be potential in Ethiopia. But coming to the gold also, we have been growing studies currently. So I've been working in the gold, or we can call it in the metallic side, and also gold and base metal in general, we can call it. Because when you find gold, usually associated with silver, sometimes with copper, sometimes with different type of elements in the metallic section. So that's also been highly potential.
Which miners do you think? I mean, there are two miners, artisanal and large-scale miners in Ethiopia. So how do you describe their capacity?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe it's difficult to compare the two because for me, it's like, when you want to buy something, sometimes we have some small kiosk or shops around in our areas, but sometimes also you go to the supermarket to buy that. So artisanals, covers a large part of the population, and the large scale is the one which is conventional. In the artisanal, maybe there are also other categories. For me, it doesn't lie within these categories. For example, there is spatial small scale, which is not part of for my discussion. But the artisanal is the one, the traditional one, and the small scale one. And the large scale is the one, for example, Ethiopia now, we have Mali, we have, and also our now in Gambela. So these are the one we call them large scale mines. That means in the conventional. So the operating systems, most of, especially when it comes to also the economy, they contribute differently. So far, we don't have large scales that much in Ethiopia. So the artisans are the one supports most of the economy previously. But that has to be, transformed to the more mechanized and more conventional way to the large scale. So that's the government, I believe, most encourage people to be, be together and be created like a potential and to be in the large scale. Because when you come to the large scale, there's no be wastage and there's high recovery, and the process will be international standards. So there is a lot of factors you consider when you come to large scale. And also when you go to artisanal, you don't know where is there gold or not. If you find also some gold, you don't know how much. But when you come to large scale, there is a feasibility study be done. Then in that studies, you know how much gold you have. Then when you mine it, then when you deliver, so it's easy for the government to regulate and also to control. But artisanals, there's no control. Then you take what they give you. But in the large scales, you can plan, you can budget, and also you can regulate. You can. So it's easy for the government, for the country, to contribute for the economy. So this is actually the two different areas for me. But at the end of the day, when you're developed, when you're more developed, and also when you have more potential, then the focus will be on the large scale.
Thank you. So what type of incentives should the government offer to attract investors to do business in the area here in Ethiopia?
Yeah, the government already providing a lot of incentive already. For example, one of the area you can see is royalty. The countries I've been working, they we pay 30%, 25%, some areas 35%. So, but in Ethiopia, when it comes to royalty, it's just 5 plus 2, sometimes 7%. So this is also the biggest incentive. And also, when you come to in the tax, you have duty privileges. And also, there is also, as the government gives attention for the industry, it's not just because this wanted, because all, if you see our world, all developed country, they are whether have oil or gold. So without having the gold industry, and also without having the mining sector, it cannot have sustainably developed. So this area is very important, and also should be given high attention so that the country to have more prosperity and also for sustained development. So in that regard, the government already have provided a lot of incentives. The problem is now it's not well advertised. It's not well be told for the investors. So it has to be more being reached to the peoples, the world. The Ethiopia is providing this type of incentives. Please, and also they have potential. So maybe that is one of the area we should focus within our embassies, or Ethiopians living in the world. So they have to send these messages to make sure this message is reached to these potential investors. In another areas when it comes, for example, for artisanal miners or national investors, so it has to be also more encouraged and also provide some, for example, some of them maybe after security, then you provide them security, or you give them access, for example, what we did in our companies. And some of them have administration issues, and you have to give it attention, have a special committee for solving those administrative issues, especially at the lower level of the government. And also, encourage them to be united. For example, there be 5, 10 of them, then form a share company. In our case, we are like a publicly listed company. We have more than 4,000 shareholders. So that's what gives you more power, and you have more also compliance. So this is the area, and instead of like now having adding more incentive, as long as it doesn't be advertised, doesn't be promoted, then still doesn't reach the potential investors. So now the government should use, for example, all of the resources, all of the potentials. Now we have having Mintex, for example, for the last week. It's very good tools to advertise the sector. So we need to have also different form of mechanism. Government's trying, also the private sector should be tried as a public, as individuals, as a professionals also, or an Ethiopians living abroad should tell this news that the government or the country is providing incentives. So please use that opportunity.
Is there any challenges you have observed in the sector, especially that you have faced, and what should be improved in this aspect?
Yeah, this is gold, and also this is for country development. You can expect a lot of challenge, internal, external, and really the industry is very, very, very challenging. If you hear our Prime Minister speech last week, our near and far enemies, they don't want to utilize our resources so that the country will be developed, so that it's treated for them. They think that one. So our Prime make it clear on his message. So that message has to be translated. It has to be told for the people. We have challenges from internal. There are people's being used for tools for external people, so that the industry shouldn't grow or people shouldn't invest in the country. So that's the challenge. So when you start working, they use all the means, including the medias, including different mechanisms, so that they you don't utilize the resources. So there is the biggest challenge. This is like grand reasons dam. So this is the gold mine is one of the means for the country to sustainably develop. So that means it comes with its own challenges. There are challenges which the government can look at and will mitigate it. But as individuals, unfortunately, most of these resources being found in the remote part of Ethiopia, not in the center. So when you go to remote areas, logistics issues, road issues, accessibility issues, some areas also, creating a conducive environment for your employees and for the work. But in general, we have all, in terms of law, in terms of resources, we are okay. But yeah, it does. That's why not gold is too expensive, and gold is very important because it has a lot of challenges by
Okay,
itself.
thank you. Thank you for mentioning this. What the challenges you have faced and the government's role to overcome this challenge. Let me come to your company. You have recently inaugurated Etno Mining Company in in Gambela region in the presence of Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. Would you brief us about your company?
Yeah, last week on November 20 of this year, we successfully inaugurated the first internationally funded company. So this is actually a milestone for the country. We have gold mines actually, but which owned maybe by, as mentioned, being built by Ethiopians. But since this type of project been first of all been FDI, so this foreign direct investments. The mining industry in the world been operated by the private sector in general. That means you need the international investors to utilize and also to develop this type of minings. So it has to attract. So this is the first in Ethiopia, and this is type, the way investments and also the modern plants. We call it boutique mine. So it looks small, but efficient. But this is start. It's not the end. So that's why it has a lot of importance, and it has a lot of meaning for the country. So we can discuss some of the importances. For example, there are a lot of companies coming to Ethiopia. We can get number from the Minister of Mine. How many people got licenses for the last maybe 6 years or 10 years or 20 years? It's a lot. So why these companies didn't start yet? So we break through this challenge, and we reach to start production. So this is the first. Out of how many of them? You can imagine. Most of them are highly potential companies. They come, but they left. And some of them still also, there are companies still working. And soon, I hope they will be starting production, because they will be encouraged by this type of project. So we will be, for them, inspiring them. So they will be more encouraged to move fast and start. But there are also areas now the government, from this experience, and also the public, use this opportunity so that it's possible in Ethiopia, and Ethiopia is ready to accept and also to help and support for them to start production. So it's not just now, it's just in the middle now. So now the difference is end-to-end support now. So from the start to until you start production. So that's why it's also inaugurated this mine by the highest person in the country, by the Prime Minister. Means it can tell you that the government gives attention for the industry and the support they are providing. So it has a lot of meaning for us, and we are happy. At least we started. Now is when it's the start for us. So we need to optimize our production, and we need to also expand the capacity. We start, for example, 10 ton per hour plant. When we start, there was COVID, there was a lot of security issues at that time. So we have a little funds, but we managed to show, and we managed to deliver the expected plants, very good plants, we call it boutique plant. So we are really happy for this one.
Well, so what will be the role of your company in stimulating the mining industry in Ethiopia?
One of the benefits or the other benefit of our company is, it will help to shape the policies. The government will learn from the processes, the challenges, and also the governments from our company. Then they will try to implement or modify or draft maybe new policies and also directions. So based on that, it will help to mitigate the challenges. So in this regard, the importance is a lot. Now there are visitors coming to see, so they see where did you get this, part of the plant? Where do you find this type of mining people? We have both national, international people. So, they will share experiences. So it will motivate them definitely, and also help them, show them the roads and also the routes like we have been traveling. So that's a lot of meaning for them. In other areas, it's also for when you come to mining, the two main areas are like for the environment and also the social community. So we have drafted a lot of ESG documents, plans when you start production. So these plans and programs been awarded in Indaba last year. That means we are in the right track. So this all means a lot for the development of the industry.
How can your company support especially traditional miners to properly benefit from their efforts or from their work?
One straightforward benefit is, they have the ore. Then they use traditional means to recover the gold. Instead of that one, we will have a plan and engagement. Then also we will have agreements, for example, for artisans. They will bring their ore to us, we'll process it, and we'll recover the gold. The recovery is high. So in that regard, they will recover more gold, as in the speech has been told. So then we need to have agreements, we need to have also a plan, and we need to have also a clear strategy with the governments, with artisanals. So in that way, it can clearly support. In other areas also, we provide, for example, we coordinate the areas to be developed for communities. So there are a lot of things we can, cooperate, and also we support the local or especially the artisanal mining.
Could you tell us the company's contribution in economic development of the nation? Because you have established huge company in the sector, and the country didn't benefit from this sector as expected so far. So what is the role of your companies in development of the nation?
Good. The first thing, as a mining company, is contributed to the economy. It can contribute in many ways. The first one is, as I said, this type of companies, they're just FDI. So when they come with their own foreign currency, and they will invest that one during the construction and during exploration phases. And the second one is employment or job creation. So in that regard, for example, when we start, we have been hired currently direct, indirect 300 people. So that means it directly contributes for the employment and the job creation. In other areas, you can see the company is paying also royalty, which is a percent, so it's clearly. So we pay royalty for the federal and also for the region. In areas also, according to our agreements as international mining company, the government has free carry equity or free carry forward in our cases. So they've been in somewhat their shares. So they have share also from the company. In other areas, you can see also, from employment tax, from corporate tax, pay taxes. So we contribute to the economy directly. What we produce is gold. So it's not just, perishable things. That means gold by itself can buy dollars or can buy foreign currency. So the gold itself contributed to the currency or the economy directly.
Well, many scholars assert that gold and other precious minerals smuggled from Ethiopia and other African countries is quite high. What is your recommendation to overcome this problem?
Yeah, the first thing is to having this type of company, large scale companies, conventional. That means they have a system which is easily controlled and monitored. For example, from the resource, we know that how much gold or how much ore or what's the grade from the ground. Then when you process it also, that's what expected, was plus or minus a little bit. So there is a control when you have large scale minings. And also the plant system should be more moderate and mechanized so that you can make it more computerized systems so that the government have access, like how much processed, how much you recovered, and all the challenges you have in the technical side. So you can give more technical data. At the same time, also the government have regular interventions, regular visits, and also regular or continuous processes on the ground. So the combination of these ones can makes you, have control on the resources and the processes on the recovery also. So moving to the conventional system is one of the methods to mitigate the illegal or smuggling of goods, because in that regard, you don't know how much they get, so it can be lost or just chasing them after. But these companies, yeah, this is the resource and bring it. So from the study, they can control you from the paperwork and also from the technical parts from the plant. So it's very rare to be smuggled from the conventional mining companies. The best way is to move to the conventional systems.
Okay, finally, if you have any message to add, you're welcome.
Now we start the first internationally funded gold mine in Ethiopia. But this is a start. This is just to show it's possible to work, invest in Ethiopia, and the country is ready to accept and also to support and also to work in the collaboration areas. And also for the public, now there have been a lot of try errors previously, but now with support of the government, now we managed to break through that challenge and we managed to start. So this is just starting. There is also another challenge coming now. We need to move forward. We need to start production. We need to optimize production and we need to expand. That's another area. But this has to tell the others, yeah, now it's possible. Then let's come together. How can we expand? How can we step up production? And how to optimize the system? That's the next one. So I call all scholars and also investors to look at this opportunity and to support for the next phase so that we can deliver and we can utilize and deliver for the economic contribution of the country. And for the students, for universities, this is also another good area for them to do their studies. And for the government agents, different government areas, concerned ones. So they need to come and see and study what are the challenges we had and how you overcome that challenges and how can they use that experience, share to the others in different methods. So this is now we start, so we should now utilize also in one or the other way the benefits. And I would like to thank everyone, government, our shareholders, our employees especially, and the community. So it was collaboration. So it's effort of everyone. So starting, which was not possible before, is now possible. Is something different. So everybody's happy. So I'm happy.
Okay, Mr. Tesfaye Medane, General Manager of Etno Mining Company, thank you for your time and a deep insight on our program.
Thank you for having me.
Dear viewers, that's all what we have for this edition. See you next time with another edition. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.